life through interviews, stories, and experiences. Because I can't lie to y'all, life can be hard and challenging without the proper information and wisdom. So we're going to have on entrepreneurs, athletes, business owners, experts of all fields, social media influencers, and just flat out great people with amazing stories. So tap in with us every Friday at 11 a.m. to get yourself some free game. Let's get it.
Your husband. Now, I want to know, because you want men to be men again, right? Mm-hmm. A long story short. So was there ever a point in your life where you felt less of a man because of the decision that you were making in your life?
That's a loaded question.
Come on.
And I love it because I deal with it every day. There's situations that happen that make me feel, quote unquote, less of a man.
Yes.
But it's how I deal with it. It's the things that I practice on a daily basis that help rejuvenate and the emotional support that I have to gain to become a man.
Okay.
So you have to define man for yourself in order to really get what you want in terms of feeling less than a man. Define man, so therefore you can understand if you feel less than.
Okay.
So me, what I determine as a man is somebody that's willing to serve, willing to be a staple in their family, in the community, in things, and most importantly, lead by example.
Okay. Now, have you ever been that for your family? Like, I know you're that now, but you have babies, correct?
Of course.
And they're, what, 5?
7 and 5.
7 and 5. Now, have you ever felt less of a man, like I'm saying, while they've been here? Because your husband and your father.
100%.
Now, that comes with a huge territory.
100%.
That comes with a huge accountability, and you have to deal with that every day, like you said. So, has there been a time since they've been born and you've been married where you're like, man, bro, like, I'm not the best husband that I wanted to be. I'm not the best father I feel like I can be.
Bruh.
Talk to me, Jay.
You're going there right now?
Yes.
So, if I can be 1,000% honest, I'm there now.
Okay.
In a time where the economy is changing, I'm in real estate. Mortgage rates are at the highest I've ever been. I've been in the business, a little under 10 years. Mortgage rates are at the highest they've ever been. The market has compressed. So so income is not what it's always been. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom since my son was born. So from a culture perspective, money is what defines success and manship. So having to readjust and do certain things on a lifestyle that I've created for my family thus far, I deal with it every day, right now, as we speak. Okay. Just had this conversation this morning with my wife about self-worth, being a man, what it takes to be a man when your income has been cut by 50%.
50.
In a market, in a lifestyle that when you bought a home, a little over 6 months ago, and just things that are transpiring. I'm the head coach of my son's football team. My daughter's starting, so things are having to adjust monetarily. So right now, it's dealing with, is understanding what it is to be a man. So going back to, feeling less than a man is I'm having to redefine what man is to me. And going back from a godly perspective, what does that mean? And to me, it's hitting it head on, going through it, not around it. Don't take shortcuts around it. Go through it. Be honest about it.
Yes.
Motivate my family through it. We gonna get through this.
Yes.
And then, but I couldn't do it without my wife. Because there's no, bro, just real talk. If my wife didn't tell me, Jeremy, I believe in you. Jeremy, I know you can get us through this. Bro, and that's part of that's through a past that's been through a lot of trauma to get to where I am now to develop this understanding that I have today.
Yes.
So, bro, dealing with it is going through it. Understanding me. Yes. Understanding what a man is. Understanding how to get through it without compromising who you are as a man.
Yes.
That's
compromise, the C word.
Bruh, the C, bruh. And that's why I say, so, and if I can go there, the journey that it's taken me to get to who I am today, If this would have hit me 5 years ago, I'd be divorced, lost my family, because of these insecurities that I still carry and fight through every day has led me down a path of finding an instant high, finding an instant gratification.
Yes.
And my wife would be okay with, me sharing this because this is the what we've built. Previous trials would lead me to go seek outside of my marriage.
Preach on it. Come on.
Other
Stay right
women
there.
because I've never been a drinker. I've never been a smoker. I've never been. So go find an instant gratification in terms of help me feel good. Jeremy, I need you to feel. So I knew I could shoot my shot somewhere and it would make me feel good. And to a point,
No, stay right there. When you say shoot your shot, though, make it plain.
shoot my shot at a female that will tell me exactly what I want to hear, just letting me know that I still got it.
Now, this is while you're married, though, correct?
While I'm married.
Oh, come on, you waxing deep right
While
now.
I'm married. And so, but having to understand why I needed that is what saved me. So the numerous, so when people say work, it takes work to discover that. Okay. Going through multiple therapy sessions, falling on your face and crying, trying to figure out why. And so then you trace it all the way back. Men are more emotional than we lead on and think.
Absolutely.
So understanding when I had to communicate to my wife and tell her, baby, all I need is you to tell me you're proud of me. Tell me how much, you have confidence in me to get us through it. Bro, when I get that, that's all I was looking for. And then I feel and I had it the whole time. But understanding what true intimacy was. I listened to Tim Ross, and I'm sure you know him. He has, So he says vulnerability is a superpower. Vulnerability is probably one of the hardest things in the world, but it's the most rewarding thing in the world. Until this is extremely vulnerable for me.
Yes.
Extremely vulnerable for me to get on a live podcast and share the deep, dark, and everything. I don't know how to, but I don't know how else to be now. Because you're gonna learn something about me that I've already gone through, and you can judge, you can whatever, and I'm cool with that.
Yes.
But it set me free. I can go home at night. I can go home later on with my wife, and she's gonna tell me, Jeremy, I'm proud of you. I know it's coming. Ooh. But it's those words still.
Every time hit.
And it's because I never heard it growing up.
Hold that. Episode's already good, y'all. If you're just joining us, what's good, y'all? Welcome to the Free Game Podcast, where we give you free game for this game called Life. I'm your host, CJ Moss, and I have the lone goat with us today as my special guest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, listen to me real quick. This dude is a husband, as he's told you. He's a father. He's a businessman. But most importantly, he's a God-fearing man. My brother, my mentor, my boy Jeremy Wormley.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah. At the Free Game
appreciate
Podcast,
you having me, bro. Appreciate
now,
you.
You're already waxing deep, bro. I really ain't.
I don't know either way.
No, for real. But so with that, because there's a lot of men that are listening right now, bro, and they're dealing with the same struggles as you. They're reaching outside of their marriage, whether that's with the woman, with a substance, with alcohol, with video games, even. They're looking for something that's going to give them that return of feel good. Like you said, the emotional side of it.
Exactly.
Men want to feel good too.
100%.
Same way women want to.
Yep.
So when you grew up not hearing, I'm proud of you, and now that you need it now as a grown man that has a wife and children, come on now.
Bruh. And see, and that's to keep it, I grew up, and I'm going to just say it. As a black man, I grew up with my mom and dad in the house. But my dad was a working person. All he did was come home, go to work. Blue collar. My mom, same thing. So my dad was the baby of 10. So he didn't understand the emotional side. I had to figure that out. My dad, if I asked my dad right now, hey, Dad, I need you to come over, he'd still be there. But never was there emotionally because he didn't know how. So when they say breaking generational curses, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's understanding and accepting reality and dealing with it. So all growing up, I know my dad wanted the best for me, but he never told, he never said, I'm proud of you. He says it now, but he's never said, I'm proud of you. And that's those words right now to this day resonate so deep with me. bro, boy, I can accomplish anything. You tell me I'm proud of you.
Yes.
But leading up to today, that's all I needed. Okay. Is just self gratification, self validation.
Yes.
And hearing that now, it's now today understanding that, hearing it from my wife, having hard conversation with my wife, it has a whole different perspective. It's a paradigm shift.
Yes.
And so it just, boy, when I tell you, it's changed my marriage, my kids, and how I raise my kids.
Yes, that's what my next question was, because your father, he's still in your baby's life, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so he's
sure.
grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Pawpaw.
Yes.
Now, how you were treated as a father, I'm gonna assume that you don't treat baby boy like that, or baby
absolutely,
girl.
absolutely not.
Now, with that, does your father see that? Oh, my son's trying to be a better father than me. Does he notice that when you're doing it?
I'm glad you said that, because I appreciate he's grown he's more affectionate with my kids. I don't know if that has a lot to do with being grandpa, but he doesn't look at it from a competition perspective. He looks at it like, hey, this is an opportunity. Because he told me the other day he missed my kids. I ain't never heard them words before. But him saying that let me know he wants to be a part of my kid's life and be a pillar in my kid's life. And that's a testament to him.
Yeah, that's affirmation for you.
For 100%.
That's pretty much him saying, I'm proud of you.
Exactly. And that's that's all I can want.
Ah.
So but now he comes to me for emotional support.
Oh, come on.
And bro, that's when it really started to resonate, like things that the work that I'm doing is not for me.
Yes. The power that you hold.
Exactly.
But you're not using it for evil.
And that's what influence is about to me. Like and that's why I say I have a passion for men. Going through the struggles that I've gone through, I see so many men going through it. I see so many, but we got to look ourselves in the mirror and go, like, don't run around it. Go through it. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It's going to go through it. You're going to shed some emotions. Go through it. It's the most freeing, liberating thing you'll go through.
Yes.
When you recognize why you looked at this person like this, okay, like I can go to my wife right now, and this is real talk. Baby, I'm down right now. Like, I can recognize these are the moments where I feel like I want to reach out to somebody else.
Oh my God.
And
wait, hold on.
Bruh.
Hold on. Timeout. Flag on the play, holding offense 5 yards back, because it is NFL season now.
Yes.
So you're telling me, and you're telling the people out there that are listening to us, men specifically with this topic, that you are aware of yourself, that when that spirit of what you don't like, when it comes up, you have a relationship of vulnerability with your wife to say, hey, look, baby, like, this feeling I'm feeling right now, it made me want to go reach out.
Yeah.
This feeling I'm feeling right, I want to do something stupid and jeopardize our marriage and my children and my life. How does that happen, though? Because men want to do that. Men want to be that transparent with their wife, with their girl, with their fiance, but they can't.
You can if you create a safe place for it.
Come on.
You have to create a safe place of intimacy, vulnerability. You have to establish that within the homes. You have to have the hard conversation. It don't just wake up and pray and it's overnight. No, you got to work towards it. Brett, me and my wife in 2021 were separated. She was living in an apartment. I was paying the mortgage and rent for her apartment, her new car. We had to get through this. And I've been married now since 2010. So it's, going on 13, 14 years. Like it didn't happen overnight. Once I realized and had real conversations, like, no. And that's why I said, not to jump off this, but when they say communication, communication is such a broad word. It's how you communicate. Are you communicating in a way she understands it? Are you communicating in a way where y'all both have an understanding and it's not playing around? So we've created this safe space to now I can come to her and be like, hey, I'm feeling very insecure right now. I'm feeling like, and I have one of my biggest insecurities is fear of failure. I'm failing as a husband right now, to go back to your first question. I feel like I'm failing as a husband because I need to do more. She said, Jeremy, it's not about money. This is the moments I feel like. And so picking up the love language to now, she can now come to me and say, and reassure me, going back to I'm proud of you.
Wait, men need reassurance.
Reassure me
oh my God,
that, Jeremy, what you're doing, I see it. I see you. And we're good.
Yes.
We're gonna get through this like we get through everything else.
Yes.
And bro, like that's in that moment, that's all I'm looking for.
That's it.
That's all I'm looking for. When I go reach out to another woman, when I go do, that's all I'm looking for in that moment.
You're not per se looking for another woman.
I'm not.
I'm just looking for
Yes, I'm looking for that feeling, that emotional feeling that you get in that moment.
that validation.
That's it. Because, bro, and that's what I'm saying. That's why there's a real thing called emotional cheating.
Yes.
That's how it always starts to happen when, unfortunately, stereotypes exist, and, that corporate man is with his assistant and this and that, because they spend more time up there and they don't communicate at home. That's what, like, men got to be real and communicate their raw feelings. Like, it's so frowned upon in culture. It's so frowned upon to get to be your vulnerable self. Like, yes. I suck at this. I'm feeling down. I'm hurting right now. Like, all of those things, those are emotional words. Allow your wife to go down there with you. Allow your fiance, spouse, friends, even men to men friends. Yes. Bruh, CJ, I'm struggling today, bruh. I need to pick me up, bruh. Like, be vulnerable in friendships. That's real intimacy. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can be intimate in friendship. That's why friendships sometimes can often take precedent in marriages and relationships.
Absolutely.
Because I'm more vulnerable with my friends than I am my spouse. Wow. Because I'm afraid I'm going to lose my title or my whatever I have inside my house.
Yes.
And it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's your wife helps you create that title. Absolutely. Helps it, like, your value or worth inside that house.
Of who you now, fellas, because men, you're listening right now, bro. You're listening, and you want to be transparent. You want to tell your girl. You want to tell whoever it is that, hey, I'm struggling. I'm dealing with this. I got a pornography addiction. I got an alcohol addiction. I just can't live my life without weed. Like, these are things that you are feeling. We know you're feeling it. They know they're feeling it, but you can't build up the courage to tell wifey, fiance, person in that position, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. So my question to you is, why don't men just go at it head on? Like, this is okay. Do you realize this is the woman you said I do to in front of God and her family?
Yep.
And you gave this woman children.
Yep.
And you gave this woman a house, a home, everything. You gave this woman literally your entire life. And the one thing that you can't do is give her your heart and your feelings and your emotions. That, you know how crazy that sounds?
Exactly.
So I'm saying, why do men want to give everything external?
Yep.
But what women really want
exactly.
is
the internal.
Come on.
And so I think it's just like in business. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. So we fear the risk, and you're dealing with two people. You got to allow her to hurt. When you go and tell her you've been unfaithful or whatever the case is, there's going to be hurt involved. Okay. You got to go there with her. You got to own it, though.
That's tough.
You got to, and that's where the self-accountability comes in. That's where the self-awareness comes in. There's a risk involved, but the greater the risk, the greater reward. So my marriage is better today because of all the transparency I've had. It's helped me in business. Yes. It's helped me become a better man. It's helped me in all aspects of life. And so when I say the reason men can't do it, it's a fear. It's going back to that fear of failure. Like, people looking at you a certain way. I'm not saying that's the 100% the reason, but I'm saying it's a lot of the reason. Okay. That was my reason why I felt I had to fall on rock bottom.
Yes.
And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being a fraud. So leaving one way, going to church, being a whole youth pastor, doing all the things that I'm telling you what to do, and living totally opposite. So now I'm 100% me. I make a joke. I'm half saved, bro. I'm one of them crazy ones, bro. I'm gonna tell you the God honest truth and unfiltered.
Yes.
And so it's just, but there's a freedom with it, bro. Okay. There's a freedom that you can go. You sleep better at night. All the things.
Now, devil's advocate. Now, the men are listening. They're like, okay, yeah, Worm. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Win big, but also lose big.
100%.
So what happens on the opposite end of the spectrum when I tell my wife, hey, I've been whatever, and it don't go the way that I plan it going? Now it's like, dang, your advice is trash, bro, because now my shorty left me.
Right. That's the reality of the situation. But you built the relationship on that. So you going to go to the grave with it? But that's what I'm saying. So like I get it. There's gonna be certain things that you don't say or you don't feel like sharing, and it could result in divorce. You can result in leaving her.
Yes.
But I'm saying it's a cliche statement. We skim over and we take the scripture for granted. Everything done in the dark comes to light.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But if you start to live transparent and that's back there, you're going to say it. It's going to come out.
Has to.
It's going to come out.
Has to.
You're going to get to a place because it's going to be eating you.
Yes.
It's going to be eating you because of who you were aspiring to be. It's going to be eating at you.
Okay.
It's going to be eating at you.
Now, transitioning into you being a father now, because we're talking heavily about the faith of being a husband and, and the self-accountability of being a man.
Right.
So once we got wifey settled, she loves me. I worship the ground she walks on. She thinks that I'm a king that I am, and I treat her like a queen. Now, out of our love comes abundance.
Right, 100%.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Yep.
You created those babies, those beautiful babies, bro. You created them.
My everything.
What does it feel like looking at your creations, bro? Like every day.
It's a loss for words, because speaking to kind of, what we were talking about earlier, watching my son, obviously my son's older than my daughter, so watching my son become this young man and this personality of himself is it's a beautiful thing. And obviously I don't take any credit. I give all the credit to God and all that. But the tools that God has instilled in me and the things that he's allowed me to go through to watch it come to fruition, because I say people raise their kids to who they aspire to be.
Okay.
Meaning,
explain it, yeah.
So meaning who I aspire to be, this transparent, this leader, this outspoken, bold individual that loves to serve and help people, lead people in the right direction. I watch my son do it on the football field right now. And the number one thing that everybody gives us compliments on is the leader that he is. If you go to his school, you go to the football field. And then my daughter, who's 5, started her first flag football. The coach already said she's a quarterback. She's the only one that pays attention up there. And it's not to brag or anything, but it's an intentional. Like, we're very intentional in the emotional piece of raising our kids.
Man,
let
me add to that. Let me add to that, because look, hey y'all, look. It might have been, you said baby was 7.
7.
So I seen you maybe 2 years ago at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys know, sports massage therapist, I work with a whole bunch of people and whatnot. My brother's happened to be one of the guys I worked with, him and his wife.
Yep.
I went to his crib one day. Everybody was home.
Yep.
And when I tell you, baby boy's name is
Kai.
When I tell you Kai got that remote,
Yep.
and he went to YouTube and he started watching flag football highlights of little kids at his age. And he was tuned in as if I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs last night. Like, my boy was like legit, like you watching Paw Patrol or something. And it's not like he just watching it consuming.
Right.
He's watching it like he's like mimicking the moves as he's watching them, bro. So that says how you are as a father to him, is that you're not stunning his growth.
Yep.
You're not saying that you can't do it.
Exactly.
He may change his mind. He may want to be a lawyer or something by the end of his whatever.
And I'm good with that.
Okay.
And that's where I think some fathers can oftentimes live through their kids. That's what I like, and that's what I always tell. I tell my wife, because this was one of the intimate conversations we had to have because of how much we have our kids involved in. I use sports as a vehicle to life skills, meaning leadership, teamwork, all the hard work, dedication. When you work hard, you get this. So I want to teach you life skills so you can now apply that to school, apply that to whatever it is you want to do.
Anything.
A schedule. You work off of a schedule. That is life. That's for the rest of your life. You're going to have some sort of schedule.
Have to.
And it teaches accountability. So if I can teach you that now, then that's only going to set you up for the future. And
you become
exactly.
in a way.
And it's funny, just to segue real quick. My son is very much like me, a very student-like person. He wants to study. He wants to know the why. He wants to know how he did that. Like, My son asked me the other day, why did God create people? Like he's a question person.
Genuine
Very,
curiosity.
very genuine
judgment.
I mean, to the point, like
yes.
there was a lady with a prosthetic leg. He asked the lady if he could touch it. Like he's curious.
Really?
So, and my son wears glasses. Boy, blind as a bat. But so, like from a sports perspective, like we're in a very social media driven world. What I plan to do is when I say he's blind as a bat, he has glasses and he feel like he can't do anything without his glasses. So I'm going to build a brand around him and his glasses so it has meaning, but it also teaches you are your brand. So you can build your brand to help people, but your decisions affect that brand too. So again, self-accountability. Yes. So if I build him a brand, so you start making revenue or whatever it is off of it for your college, now you make a decision to do something crazy. I want you to understand what that can do for your brand too. Okay. So when I say student, like, and we're gonna name a student of the game just to, piggyback off the, my boy Free Game. So exactly. Yeah. But it's just like that's why I say it's very intentional with the emotion. There's always a reason, and I say I've been through a lot of therapy. There's always a reason why we do what we do.
Absolutely. So then let me segue with that and bring it back home to my life, just simply because, not to give you all the details, but let's just say, baby boy gets older, he becomes, alcoholic. He does crazy stuff, God forbid. Not that it changes the love that you give your child, but you see your child at one point in their life making these great decisions, and then now several years later, they're going downhill, and you're visually watching them go downhill. Again, not that it changes your love for them, but how does that make you feel as a father if your son or your daughter wasn't as happy, positive, and genuine curiosity? What if they was just regular?
Exactly, regular. Yeah, I like that.
Regular.
I like that because what I do right now and why I think I have the effect on men that I have, I take a man where they are. I will take the man where they are. So same thing going to my son if he becomes that. I want to accept you where you are. I'm a realist in that aspect. Okay. I'm not, you come to me, I'm addicted to pornography, I'm an alcoholic. Bet. It happens. Whatever. I appreciate you. But going back to vulnerability. Vulnerability is a superpower. You admitting that to me will help you. Like, you felt the need to admit that to me. That's a low-key sign for help.
Absolutely.
I need to invest this, share this with somebody. And so that's what I'm saying. So when I see exactly. So when I see my son, if that happened with my son or, daughter or anybody that I love, bro, it's you got to walk through the process. I'm going to go through it. Yes. Hey, bro, I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to go through it with you. I'm going to give you all the help. But at some point, you're going to have to, depending on the age, you're going to have to make a decision for yourself. Absolutely. I'm trying to raise a man now at the end of the day. So if you go there, like, I'm going to allow you to be a man through it too. Like, there's only so much rope I can give you before you hang yourself. And with that rope.
Yes.
So
I can't help you
I can't help you as far, like, I'm not going to enable you in your mess.
You can't do the work for you.
I can't do it for you.
Okay.
So that's going back to now, the sports and everything, the foundation we're trying to create. So we go through it.
Yes.
Right now, we moved, and just to kind of speak to that situation, the only reason I keep using my son, because he's the first, and we're going through a lot of firsts with him.
Oh, yes.
So we moved from one school district to a completely other. Basically like I'm in Title I type school where, now to a more, I guess, established, more academically privy school.
Yes.
So they doing a lot of activities on a Chromebook. They took their map test, and he's now, quote unquote, behind in, from where he was to now. So, like I told him, adjustments will have to happen. We're going to go through it. So now we're creating a schedule for studying, and now you're watching the improvement. This happened 2 weeks ago, when first week of school, they took their MAPS test and we got the scores. Now we're creating a schedule around it. Okay. You're going to go through it, son. You got to go through it. And helping him understand why we're doing what we're doing. Because he wants to know, he always, Dad, why are we doing it? This is why.
That's the reason. Exactly. Now you're watching out there, the people, you're watching your parents out there, and they're listening to you talk, bro. And they're like, Worm, I get it, bro, but you too much. Like, you're too hard on your children. You're hard on your, like, I don't want to see my babies hurt like that. If I can protect them from any pain, sorrow, and hurt, then guess what? I'm gonna do that for them.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
So, not that why you're not that parent.
Yeah.
But what advice do you give to that parent that wants to be like you as a father, and they want their husband to be like you as a father and treat their son the way you treat your son and your daughter? What advice do you give to those parents?
It starts with you. It starts with you, the person. You have to get to a place where you're comfortable in your own skin, so then you can pass that on to somebody else. So if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're shooting for a target, you can't enjoy the process. So I'm hard on my son only because life ain't getting any easier.
Okay.
But there's a balance, and that's where my wife comes in. My wife's the nurturer, and I mean, I have my fair share of nurturing and all those things as well. But there's a time and a place, and that's why I say, like, if you're not rigid and scheduled with yourself, it's going to be hard for you to pass it on to your son.
Because you can teach them one thing, but they also have eyes.
Exactly.
And they're watching.
And they learn more from watching. I heard a preacher say that. I heard a preacher say, the greatest teacher for your kids is you. So they see. I mean, and I'm a loud person, and this just kind of, I'm a loud person. When me and my wife and I'm very passionate, so it sounds like I'm yelling. I just talk loud. My daughter said, "Daddy, quit yelling at Mom." When I tell you that resonated with me, bro, and it goes back to self-accountability, because the old me would have looked at my daughter, who the hell are you talking to? You're a child. You don't talk to me like that. But now the self-aware Jeremy, Kinley, you're right. Because if a man talked to you that way, I wouldn't let you stand for it. So now I'm working on my tone. Like, and it's a work, bro. It's work. But I say that because it goes back to self-awareness. Like, and there's seasons of life. And so with them being seasons of life, I'm watching my son go through a brand new school, first time in tackle football. So it's a different season. I'm not as hard. I'm more emotional support. Son, you got this.
So he knows another side.
And so he knows the others. Exactly.
My dad's not always.
He's not always. And there's a time and a place. And that's why, and I forgot to even mention this, but like to kind of backdoor it, I tell a lot of dads, coaches, because I do a lot of coach. I approach life as a coach. Like my business, I feel like I coach clients in the home ownership. Like I coach. So dealing with other coaches, I wanted to be the coach my son. So in football, last year, we're in 2023, so early 2022, I took a year off from coaching. My mother-in-law passed away. And something in me said, Jeremy, you need to be there emotionally for your family so your son can determine coach and dad. So I took a year off from coaching because I knew I had to be there for my wife who lost her mom and, doesn't have another parent or anything. So that was like, I had to fill large shoes and everything. My son was very close to her. My daughter was very close to her. So if I'm out there coaching, pushing, yelling, all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden I didn't want no confusion. So I said, I'm going to put you with people that I trust that are going to push and get the best out of you from a disciplined talent perspective, and I'm going to be dad. I'm going to be here to emotionally support you through this. And it's weird. I mean, it's just, like I said, it was more of a God wisdom type thing. To see where we are today, now that I'm able to be his coach, he's able to determine, okay, dad's just coaching me. Like, he made up in his mind, when we're out on the field, that's coach. It's not dad.
He understands.
He understands. And so it's crazy to believe that kids, can pick up on things. So, but bro, kids are sponges, bro. Bro, they're sponges, bro. And that's why I say you set the bar and the kids will reach it.
Every time.
Every time. Every time. Bro. And so that's why I say, like, there's seasons to life.
Absolutely.
And being like, we went through a season of where it's gonna be kind of like you need a lot of discipline. You need, like, especially summertime. bro, you need a schedule. Like we'll do schoolwork, we'll do schedule. You're gonna do workout because you're not gonna sit around this house, get on your phone and play video games all day. That's the time to be coach and push and all that. School started. I knew being in a brand new school, it's overwhelming. School's brand new, it ain't been, and like the library is like, and coming from what we came from, bro, come on. And so I knew it was gonna be a culture shock, because we went from like a culture shock. Yes. It's a culture shock for me and my wife.
Yes.
And two, like the academics was going to be different. The learning curve is going to be different. So I'm back in the season. Like, you're not doing a whole lot of athletic training because you're in season.
Yes.
That's going to use that. But now it's a lot more schoolwork and emotional support again.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Now, you mentioned being comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
To the parents out there that want to become better parents and whatnot. Now, although you do look like you play fullback for the Dallas Cowboys, you lost a large amount of weight, bro.
Yes,
I've
bro.
seen.
Mm-hmm.
And you look like you've kept it off, bro.
Trying to.
Now, tell us, how does that feel and how has that impacted your life now that you literally lost, what, 100 plus?
100 plus pounds. Yeah.
200, was it?
100, about 150 total.
150. So you literally lost a whole human being. You took off a whole human being off your body and pounded you.
Yep.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing physically. Like, it, obviously aches and pains are gone and things like that. But, again, and not to, I told you I'm deep, bro, so I don't try to take everything deep, but I'll go there. But what it did for me mentally is what the biggest thing it did for me from I can do it. So now I have some self-confidence that I can do said thing that set out a goal. And that's, so during this time, I can lean back on, Jeremy, you got this, not always outward encouragement from other people. So what it did for me mentally, and what I learned through the process, shout out to Coach Chase, the accountability. I hired, during time, this year I hired a business coach. A coach and accountability is the key to the reaching the goal. Okay. If you don't have accountability, you ain't gonna get it. If you don't have accountability, and that's why I say, that's what I look to as preachers and that, things like that. That's your accountability coach from a life perspective.
Absolutely.
So going back to losing the weight, I had a coach check in with every day. What's your weight? It's accountability.
Hard.
That was the key to changing my business, changing everything around me, changing my relationships with friends. It's a very accountable type relationship now. So now I embrace accountability.
Now, for people that don't know, you paid for this, Coach Craig.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
If this was free, unlike the Free Game Podcast, if this was free, if this was free coaching, and the business coach was not charging you anything,
right,
you wouldn't have taken it serious.
Exactly.
So
not
you
at
had
all.
to literally
invest in yourself.
Payment.
Invest in yourself and understanding what you're investing in. Understanding you're investing in you. You're investing into, like my business coach tells me today, invest in your future self. So who you're aspiring to be, invest in that. So we do a weekly call every Friday. What have you done this week? What are your goals for next week? How are you leading? Here are the things. So bouncing things. It's the collaboration piece of the accountability that allows, and you mentally, subconsciously, you have that call at the end of every week. So you approach it different.
And you know it's coming.
And the key to a good coach, I'm one of them people, when you don't do your homework, I can talk myself out of it. So, and it just, exactly. I can talk myself out of it. But people that handle me, because that's always been my gift, is talking. A gift, a coach told me, I try to get out of our coaching call. She said, Jeremy, I'm going to give you a little tough love.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
I'm gonna give you a little prerequisite. And when you hit me with that, I understand that's. She said straight up, Jeremy, I put this on my calendar every Friday at this time. If you're not willing to reschedule and do those things, you don't want this. Wow. Bruh, I ain't missed a call since. And today, I told her we're going to make the call Monday because I'm on a podcast. And so it's a very, bro, when I say I embrace accountability, bro, if I don't feel like somebody's asking me questions like, Jeremy, where you at with this, and this, bro, I feel like I'm doing something wrong now.
Now, what do you separate that between nosiness and genuine curiosity?
Be nosy. I'd rather you be nosy. Because I'm just 100%.
Yeah.
Be nosy. Ask me. It's up to me whether I want to tell you or not.
Absolutely.
That's where the relationship comes in. But accountability, be nosy. I think I think, just a honest, just more feedback type thing. I think that's the reason a lot of people post content, and it's you got to be very careful because it's a type of accountability.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
A type. I like that.
Type of accountability.
Yes.
Because if you're not careful, the more you post, okay, you're accountable to yourself. I got to post, but you're not getting any feedback. You're not getting any coaching or feedback on it, and that's what we run from the most is the feedback. Tell me
how I can get better.
How I can get better. That coaching piece. That's
exactly.
Tell me exactly.
Okay.
And that's the key to me accountability is the feedback that you're getting. Okay.
Now, devil's advocate, coach, that hurts. That hurts. I don't like. You just said your father didn't tell you he was proud of you. So if I haven't dealt with that situation in my everyday life, and you tell me how terrible I am as a human, that may make me jump off the cliff.
You're 100% correct. But to me, great coaches, like I said, can meet you where you are. They build the relationship before they go to that depth. You see what I'm saying? So like great coach, like that's how I am with my kids. Like when I'm coaching, I'm building a relationship before I go hard on you. I want to understand what your potential is. Like to me, great coaches are there to push you to where you want to obtain and where they see you can obtain. If I can't see you getting there, we're just collecting a check.
Okay.
So I'm here to believe in you to the point where you don't believe in yourself. Okay. So I'm bringing that out of you. And so when you build that relationship, the safe space, going back to safe space,
yes.
I can say the hard truths. And I love you in it. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't tell you this.
Absolutely.
So
even you give me some of that.
Exactly, bro. Like if you don't create a safe space, then you can't be that honest.
Yes.
And so now it's an identity with me. I'm a safe person and I speak even with my clients. When they call me, my process, I want to have a conversation with you before I ever push you to an application to fill out a loan application or anything. I'm going to build rapport so I can tell you the truth.
First.
I can tell you whether you are in position right now or if we need 2-3 months or if we need 6 months or if we need, there's something like y'all come to an agreement first, then holler at me type of thing. Like, that's why I say like my slogan for coaching right now, I feel like with the proper coaching and game planning, anybody can buy a home.
Yes.
So it's coaching and game planning. It's all about planning and coaching.
Okay.
So
now, if you're just joining us, this is Mr. Jeremy Wormley, my guy, my coach, my mentor. Now, the name Lone Goat, you got it, because we robbed the show of personal development right now. We robbed the show of personal development, which is great.
Hey.
And we're going to segue into what the people really want to know.
I got you.
Which is, what is the Wormley team? Who is the Lone Goat? How can you add value to their life right now?
So as you can see, and it's a perfect segue, because if you don't know by now that I care, then you're never going to know. So I care about who I am, who the Wormley team is it's just a vehicle because I want you to reach your goals. I want to help you. I genuinely want to help you reach your goals. And anything financially, I want to be your go-to person. I want my team to be your go-to person. So when it comes to a client, I don't care. I don't want you to just fill out a loan application and go buy any house. I want you to buy the house you want to be in. I want you to buy when you're ready. Everybody talks about right now in the market, right now is the perfect time to buy. Yes, we're in sales. We can sell anything. But if it's not the right time for you, it ain't the right time to buy.
I feel that.
So the Wormley team is a team that cares deeply about their clients and want to help them obtain home ownership.
Okay.
Especially when they didn't think they can. That's why I'm passionate.
Oh, yes.
That's why I'm passionate about being called the Lone Goat. One of my loan partners, realtor partners, gave me the name Lone Goat. She called me Lone Goat, and so I appreciate it because I take passion in. I don't quit. When I tell you I don't quit, when I think I can get a loan done, bro, I'm your biggest advocate. I'm going to fight everybody. I'll go to the city. I'll go to wherever. We'll drive there physically to get your loan done. And so And that's what we're passionate about that.
Okay.
And so
now to the people that want to use you, your services, your product, whatever
Right,
you want to utilize it as, what exactly would they need to do to use you and your gift of not just coaching or whatnot, but the legit loan off, the loan goal?
The one thing what I would say do is reach out to the team. Let's set up a conversation first. Everything starts with a conversation. So we could set up what I call a game plan call. Let's get to know each other. Let's establish your goals.
Yep.
Determine what it is you're wanting to do in a time frame you're wanting to do, and I'm going to be realistic with you about if we can obtain that.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. It's more of a free game consultation to set up the game plan around what your goals are.
Because you may not work out.
It may
Or
not, you may not
be
like
very
me. You may
level.
can't stand me. You may
Yes.
think, Jeremy, you talk too much. Whatever it is, I want to be a resource to point you in the direction, whether it's with me or not.
And establish that first.
Exactly.
Before
First.
you sign any check,
Before you sign any check, before
do I want to work with you first?
before I ever get any of your personal information. I don't even want you filling out an application unless you know about me, unless you know you want to go that way.
Integrity.
But I'm still going to set up a call
Yes.
because I get this application and you say you want a $1 million house and you see $1 million payment, you really don't want that. So now I'm sitting up here and I've set myself up for failure. Like, Jeremy, I ain't want that. So I need to get to know you, get to know what it is you and your family want to establish first, and then plan around that. Then I'll make whatever product, service, everything tailored to what you want.
Okay.
So
Now, question time. We got the question time.
Got
I got
you.
a handful of questions for
Bet,
you.
bet.
Because people want to know. Because people want houses.
Yeah.
People want to start families. People want to get married. People want to do all those
Oh,
things.
yeah, this is, yeah.
But it starts off with, number one, having the money. Got to have some kind of income coming in.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, I don't care. Self-employed, 9 to 5, don't matter. As long as you got some money coming in, that's going to be number one. But number two, where am I going to put these people? Like, I have to have a house.
Right.
So one of my first questions is, why did you choose home loans? Like, you could have been a motivational speaker. You could have been an astronaut. You could be a podcast host if you wanted to.
100.
Why home loans?
Because, honestly, to be real, I fell in it, and then realizing I wanted to impact lives. That was always been my number. I was so close to being a full-time minister.
Really?
Like, I was so close. Like,
that's where the gift of gab
that's
comes in.
where, like, I wanted to be I've had a passion to impact lives. And so when I found my first job, I was working at Bank of America. I was doing foreclosures and for when the market tanked. And then one of my good friends said, Jeremy, your personality is you shouldn't be putting people out of their home. You need to be putting people in homes.
Okay.
When I realized the impact that home buying has on families, I said, this is my vehicle to impact lives.
Okay.
This is where God put me. This is my ministry now.
Yes.
So now the impact that the passion that I have to put people in homes is that's why
No,
finance.
because they're listening out there.
But that's
People
that's
are
why.
listening, and they're like, okay, one thing that really irks me, you said pet peeve, is when you ask a person, what do you want to do with your life? And they say, I want to help people. Bro,
It's a pet peeve of
everything
mine.
on God's green earth helps people. Literally, strippers help people.
Yep.
Pornography helps people. Alcohol, people they help people. So depending on what level of help you want to help determines what you do. If you will.
100%.
So they're listening and saying, well, I don't want to do home loans, Jeremy.
Right.
I'm not even a home guy.
Yeah.
What do you advise the men and women out there that are wanting to help people? They have a passion. They got a burning desire like you did, do to help people. But they don't want to do home loans.
Don't want to do home.
They ain't got the gift of gab. But they still searching. They're still seeking for that answer.
So again, it goes back to self-awareness. Understand what it is first you're good at, what you have a passion for, and go at it. My wife isn't the person that wants to be in your face, wanting to do all the talking, the gift of gab, but she can join my team and just impact just as many lives as I do. It's understand, but I think what happens even just in my industry, everybody wants their name in lights. Everybody wants to be the everything. Everybody wants that to be that guy.
Yes.
And so if you foster a culture where and see, that goes back to leadership and coaching and things like that. But when you foster a culture like, y'all couldn't do this without me. No. I couldn't do this without you.
Yes.
And that's just what it is. So going back to becoming self-aware, understanding you.
Yes.
Understanding you, so you know what it is you want to do and how you want to do it. And that's why I say you could join my team and Impact, help people.
And we good.
And we good. You can you can go do anything. You can, get up here and do the sound and everything for Free Game Podcast.
Yes.
You're helping people.
Absolutely.
So it's understanding who you are as a person
And how you can help
and
people.
how you can help people.
Because not everybody needs to be talked to.
Exactly.
Some people need to actually be
But
behind the camera.
we couldn't do this if it
Absolutely.
wasn't
Without people that are.
So
Question 2.
perspective, bro.
Yes.
Perspective.
Question 2. What is the value of a good credit score? Yeah, come on now. Unbox that one.
I'm finna
Unbox
frustrate
that
people.
one.
I'm finna frustrate people. To be honest, my personal opinion, I hate credit score because it don't tell the story. And the reason I say it doesn't tell the story, credit score is just, it opens the door to the products. So credit score, for example, 620 credit score is kind of like 620 standard credit score because it opens the door to every product. But credit score doesn't tell your story. It doesn't tell who CJ is. CJ could have had a mess up, 2-3 years ago, and fell on hard times, and his credit score tanked. Yeah. And
CJ's
but
mom could have died. And he didn't work. He had to use his credit card.
100%.
Okay.
That's them the people I have most passion for. Now I get it. There's irresponsible people too.
Yes.
That's totally different. But credit score is what opens the door. And going back to education around credit. That's the number one reason credit scores tank.
Okay, hold on. Because you're giving free game.
Yeah.
Educate us on what credit is then.
Credit is the ability and the responsibility to how you handle money. So if I give you, CJ, money, what credit score is determined, or it's valued at how often do you pay me back? Do you pay me back when you say you're going to pay me back? That's the credit score at its simplest form. But if you start to, I'm going to pay you when I get ready, I missed this payment, your credit score starts to tank. So the more credit you have, the more good standing credit you have, the higher your credit score is. Okay. So just to give free game, credit cards affect your credit score the most. So let's say you have $1,000 credit card.
Yeah.
If you have it at 10%, let it report. So $100 balance, let it at 10%. That impacts your score more than like a car loan. But if you have that credit card at $1,000 balance, it's going to affect your score negatively.
Okay.
Because you're not managing. You've maxed it out. You're not managing money properly. Managing.
Now, what about the American Express credit cards? Because I know, obviously, American Express is a big name. You say it's like the Gucci of the finance.
Exactly.
Right? So
yes and no.
Okay. Now tell us why, though. Because people, let's say I got a Wells Fargo credit card, and then you got an American Express credit card. I'm seeing it as you could say, ignorant person in the finance world. It's just two credit cards.
Exactly.
Bro.
And that's realistic in my world and the credit score world. They're the same. It's the biggest thing is, so just kind of to go into the credit stuff, we pull all three credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Some credit cards don't report to all three credit bureaus. So American Express may only report to Experian and Equifax.
Yes.
So if we pull all three, we're going to take the middle of the three. I don't care if you have 800, 700, and 600. We're going to take the 700 and do your loan based on that 700.
Why is that, though? Why is that?
That's what they say the average is.
Oh,
for the three scores. So we're just going to take the middle score. Or if you only have two scores, say you only have 2 or 3 credit cards and a car loan that only report to 2 credit bureaus and not the other. We're going to take the lower of the 2.
Yes.
So that's why I say it's all about who the credit cards report to. American Express, the reason it's a Godfather or whatever, they report to all 3 credit bureaus, but so does Wells Fargo, so does Chase, they report to all 3 credit bureaus. Your bigger banks report to all 3 credit bureaus.
Okay.
So
now bigger banks meaning like
you're big. Capital One, Chase, Bank of America, all the big banks.
Okay, not like
most credit unions do too. Okay. But most banks report to all 3.
Really?
It's your department store credit cards, like you go get a Macy's credit, JCPenney. Those type of credit cards oftentimes don't report to all 3. Okay. Some of them may, but it's always ever changing. Right. And so
now tell us the difference between bad credit and no credit. There's no difference.
Bad credit is you don't pay your bills.
Okay.
Bad credit.
No
credit is you just haven't established credit.
So which one are you rather? Who would you rather work with? Same person. One has bad. One has none.
That's a hard question. But see, you always want to take me deep, and I'm trying not to go there.
No,
but
I'll take you there. I'm dragging you there.
Bad credit. That's what I'm saying. I don't like to use the term bad credit because, again, it could be CJ maxed out his credit cards when he was there. Now all I got to do is pay them down. His score's up.
Yes.
And now
but that's still technically under the technicality of it. That's still bad credit. I don't care that your mom died, bro.
See, that's why.
With your money.
No, you're not, because if the number is determining whether you can buy a house or not, I hate that. But if I could take CJ, who maxed his cards out because of the situation he was in at that time, he had to get by.
Yes.
You're a person, so I'm going to help you get your score up and tell you how to get your score up and get you in a house. So I don't like bad credit. So, and a person with no credit is in the same situation. No credit, okay, you just ain't never took out credit cards. You weren't taught how to go get, there's a lot of cultures that don't believe in the banking system, whether it's a trust or whatever it is. So they don't do credit.
Right.
But then they need a $300,000 loan, so you don't have the cash. So it's my job to help coach you on how to get credit. Through it. Coach you through it. So that's what I'm saying. So there's not one, like now if a person, there's some people that, have just gone through rough times and have had, didn't pay no bills, everything's in collection, everything. Them people need to go, that's what I say, they need to go see a specialist. Specializes in credit to help you get that fixed and things like that. Okay. So that's why I say, so I'm the coach, I'm your resource, I'm going to point you to a person that may need surgery on your credit. I'm going to point you to the surgeon. See what I'm saying? Like, so that specializes in credit. Yes. But allow me to see it first and create the game plan for you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is the long goat, Jeremy Wormley. And as always, on the show, bro, because we're running out of time.
I feel
but,
you.
Free game. Advice. One piece you want to give to the world. If you were about to leave right now and you got in a car accident and just your last words that you can give to the world right now on the Free Game Podcast, what would you give?
Because it's my passion, go find somebody that you can be 100% vulnerable with and give your deepest, darkest everything. Unload everything you got with them. And tell me how you feel after that. Tell me how you feel. Watch your shoulders drop. Watch everything. Watch the tension come off of you. And watch how you feel and approach life after that. If you can do that, you will do anything. You can accomplish anything. I promise you.
Like I said, y'all, this is the long goat, Jeremy Wormley, the Wormley team. Next week, we have a basketball expert coming to bless us with some free games. So, any last words for us when we dip out?
Oh, no, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that. Always love, bro.
Let the people know right there how they can get in touch with you. Instagram, phone number, email, whatever you want.
Any Instagram, Facebook, anything. But my cell phone number to my team's cell phone number is 817-637-6973. Call us, text us for anything.
One more on that.
817-637-6973 is the team phone number that you can call, text, or anything, and you can reach our team.
I appreciate you, big
brother. I appreciate you, bro.
This won't be your first.
Oh, it won't.
It won't be your last.
Absolutely not, bro.
Until next week, y'all, we will see you next week. Let's get it.
What's good, y'all? It's CJ Moss, the official host of the Free Game Podcast, where we give you free game for this game called life through interviews, stories, and experiences. Because I can't lie to y'all, life can be hard and challenging without the proper information and wisdom. So we're going to have on entrepreneurs, athletes, business owners, experts of all fields, social media influencers, and just flat out great people with amazing stories. So tap in with us every Friday at 11 a.m. to get yourself some free game. Let's get it.